Huh? Lock.
Give her this. Okay. So, welcome back. Here we go. So yeah, just quick reminder. This is just saying that like this is one of the guys that was killing people, and he's like, "Hey, I understand if you're worried about this, if you want to say no, but that doesn't mean Canada should stop. We should really think about this to continue."
Oh, yeah, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
The PR, you pay the money to IMCC? IMCC?
Who?
I pay
The
today. My friends told about me. Pay the money to the PR. We said that the PR get the money.
Yep, I do for Vietnam, but I don't pay for Canada.
No.
This is a
Okay.
so I don't know. I pay for Vietnam one. It cost me like a few $100s, so that's normal. But I just don't know what it is for Canada. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
She told the community that all the medical tests are available despite a lack of the consensus, such as the home replacement the therapy for a woman experiencing menopause and separate injection steps for the drug user.
Basically, this guy or this lady, sorry, she is saying sometimes in our medical field we don't agree, but we still do it because we believe it's right. So, for example, a lot of people don't agree that we should give you hormone therapy for women in menopause because that could really mess up your body. But we do it anyways because, from what we've seen with the research, it helps the ladies. So, why not? Same with supervised injection sites for drug users. Obviously, using drugs is not good, like using heroin or injecting stuff, right? But it is better to do drugs at a government building where you're safe, everything is clean, blah blah blah, versus like a dirty alleyway where you put like dirt in your body and then you get sick and die, right? So even though a lot of people disagree with those two big things, we still do it. So this could be another one of those things where a lot of people don't think killing the people with mental illness is a good idea, but we do it anyways. And provinces are also split, meaning some provinces say yes, some provinces say no. The country is not agreeing 100% with this.
Uh, well, New Brunswick says it's working to the answer. It is ready and a spokesperson for the Ontario Health the Ministry stated now. Concerned Quebec passed a law in the June the excluding the medically assisted death solely for the mental disorder.
So New Brunswick and Ontario are like, we're good to go. We're going to continue. We think it's a good idea. Quebec is saying no, we don't want this in Quebec. So Quebec and Ontario are like equals in size, and so basically half of Canada is like no, and half of Canada is like yes, and even more, Saskatchewan.
A Saskatchewan government spokesman said it too is the concerned with the planned expansion and connect community to implementing it without carefully considering to considering the risk that his may pose to people suffering from the mental issue.
So just like Quebec, Saskatchewan is like, let's slow down, guys. I don't know if this is a good idea. There could be a lot of risks with this. I don't know. So basically, small province, New Brunswick, small province, Saskatchewan, they're both saying yes and no, right? And two big provinces, Ontario saying yes, Quebec saying no, right? So again, Canada is very divided on this. We don't know what we want. And this is just saying 30% up in assisted deaths in 2022. So let's say 100 people died in 2021. Now it's 130 people died in 2022. Now those are small numbers and simple math, but I don't actually know the numbers. So it could be like 500. Now it's like 700 people are dying. So that's a pretty big jump. And this one is saying that there's a huge amount in Newfoundland and Labrador. That's what NL means, Newfoundland and Labrador, are going way up, and only a few doctors are taking them on. So this could be really bad depending on your province. Yes. And basically, have we studied this enough, right? Do we know enough about this problem? Yeah.
In 2021, Prime passed an updated version of its medical assistant in dying life that expand the ability to people who only have the mental illness and include a 2-year suggested close before it would take effect.
So sunset clause is basically when the government says, we're allowing this to happen, but we're not going to do it right away because people are worried about it. We don't want to go, boom, now you have to do it. We're going to give a time period where you can do it, but you don't have to do it, blah, blah, blah. The province can decide what they want for these next 2 years. And after those 2 years, the whole country will do it. So that's kind of what they're saying. So in 2021, they're like, we're going to do this, but you don't have to do it yet. You have 2 years to kind of figure this out. If your province wants it early, they can decide early. But in 2023, 2 years later, all of Canada is doing it. However, like it said at the beginning of this article, they pushed it one more year. So 2024. So they pushed it an extra year. So it was actually like 3 years without it being in effect.
The government strict an expert panel to probably whether more surveillance was needed and to make recommendations around assistance.
So the government's like, the big reason we normally do these big long sunset clauses, meaning like we don't do it right. We said we'll do it, but like 2 years later is when it happens, is because we want to have for 2 years people researching it, making sure that it's a good idea, so that we don't just start something that's bad and then we're like, uh-oh, we got to stop it. Where if we get a sunshine clause after 2 years and we're like, of research, and we're like, oh, this is bad, we can just stop it and nothing bad happened, right? So that's kind of what the government did, and that's what they're focusing on, is sending experts out there to figure out, is this a good idea or a bad idea?
The panel's final report in May 2022 recommended the government develop today's standards, but substate no more the last step changes. The report did wade into the question of whether or not expansion should happen at all, and it 7 months' time firmly inhibited with the
consultation. Okay. This one is basically just saying, after that time period of research and blah, 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 they said it's a good idea to do it. We should continue this policy. However, we need to figure out how we are doing this policy. Like, the policy is not bad. but we need to figure out how we're going to figure out if you qualify for this policy. Because if we just are like, anyone can do this, that could just be a bunch of people who are sad and kill themselves for no reason. It could be really bad.
Can Garnet and others whine that the super was too narrow, and there has been too little scrutiny on how this part of the law can be.
Basically, if this person is like, you didn't talk about if this law should even be allowed. You just were like, it should be allowed, number one. And they said the scope, the research was so narrow. You only focused on like this small part of this law. You didn't focus on everything, the whole country. So we believe that this could still be a bad idea, and you just don't want to talk about it. So yeah. And I believe this is, Povier saying this is a good idea or bad idea.
What's the name is the man? He may be the
Pierre Povier.
Pierre Povier. He may be the president of Canada.
Yeah. Next one, maybe. He's the leader of the Conservative Party.
I always look at the man in the TikTok. He always cuts the tutor.
Yeah.
Why? A lot of the question for tutor. And tutor? No. I don't know.
Well, that's because, of course, those are the two leaders fighting each other, right? So yeah. It always happens. It's not like a new thing for Trudeau to be attacked. Same thing happened before Trudeau, with Trudeau attacking Harper. He's like, why are you doing this, Harper? Why are you doing that, Harper? Why are you doing this? It's just what happens in politics.
Yeah. The 2020 was the paid by 2019 the Quebec Supper Guard decision that found it was the unconstitutional to require that and it violates needed to recession ability for is able to be urgent able for the assistant die.
Basically saying the Quebec court, right, the highest judge, basically said it's unconstitutional for the government to decide what is reasonable and what is not reasonable. And so basically the Quebec court said that you don't need anything to prove that you are close to dying. Like it doesn't, like a doctor doesn't have to prove that you're going to die tomorrow or a week from now or a month from now. They don't have to do any of that. It's all on you as an individual saying, I want to die or not. So that's pretty crazy, but sure.
The bill didn't only expand the ability to those who only have the mental disorder. The state added that the person in amendment that the government decided to approve.
Yeah. So because of the court, what they said, technically, if you don't have to prove that you're going to die soon to get this treatment, mental illness or mental disorders could fall under that category because you don't have to prove you're going to die. But the Senate, the government was like, people are still disagreeing about this. Let's slow it down a bit. And so the government forced it to not be allowed, even though the court said it shouldn't be allowed. So, but again, the government can only do this for a short amount of time because the court has the final say. But the thing is, with the court, it takes a while to do it. So basically, the government can say, this is what we're going to do. And then it will be like 6 months later or a year later, the court looks at it and be like, no, you're not allowed to do that. That's kind of how the government's doing it. They're like, we got 1 year to figure this out, or this is going to be bad.
Earlier earlier this year, the Parliament passed the legislation to add just one more year to the subject class so that the provision would take effect in March 2024, with the Liberals saying more time was needed to get the system ready.
Yeah. So they're just saying, remember the sunset clause from 2021 for 2 years would be March 2023? Well, the Liberal government back in March were like, actually, we need more time. Let's make it 3 years to 2024. And they're talking about it again, being like, maybe 2025. Like, it seems like they keep pushing it away.
Trudeau, layman's University of the
This
Toronto.
guy, not real Trudeau, different Trudeau.
Different too. Okay. Proposal in the healthy policy and law said he believes that the government is moving to the liberty and out to undertake a more careful study. He added the resident community hearing well too short and at times over the combative.
Like fighting. So, yeah, this guy, I guess, is saying, number one, the government needs to be more careful. They're going too fast. They're like, go, 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 go. We need to do this. Like, come on, guys, let's slow it down. And the government's fighting too much with this. If the government is fighting with this, that kind of means that the people don't want this, right? Or they might not want this. And so we're kind of saying like, hey, let's slow it down and figure out what we actually want.
I understand that they fit the up list to be faster because the March daily date is coming up so quickly.
Normally when you see to be, remember this is a quotation. So some people like forget what they're saying right there. So this is how it would have been said. I understand that you feel obligated to be fast because that's kind of how they would say it. So yeah, sometimes it's a bit weird like that. But yeah, the guy's like, I understand why you want to be fast. March is the deadline. Like we have to decide in March. But come on, guys, maybe we can extend it, make it longer, figure it out.
What happens if there is another daylight?
Yeah, so what happens if they push it to 2025 or longer?
In a recent interview with the Canada's Press, Valerie expresses openness to adding more time. The suggested class, the delaying, the explanation in eligibility.
Eligibility. So this is just saying that the press has talked about this, saying, hey, like what's going to happen if we just make this longer, right? If this does go to 2025 or 2026, what's going on? So CBC and the Canadian press are like asking the government, like, what's going on? What's going to happen?
But in the meantime, those who got it is time to the person say people are in safe pain as they wait to see what happens.
Basically, the people who are saying, yes, we should be allowed to do this, are saying that people are suffering. They're in so much pain that if they could kill themselves, they would be happy, right? Or they would not be happy, but they would not suffer any longer. So the longer this goes on, those people have to suffer more and more and more when they don't have to. And so he's like, come on, let's do this now.
Gupta are psychologists at the university. The Montreal who chaired the government expert Penne said his concern about message the convention has sent to people with mental disorder, their families, and over the society about stars of people with mental disorders, about the way in which their rights can be considered to obnation.
Optional. Uh, Basically, this lady believes that this is a human right. If you really are in that much pain, you should be allowed to kill yourself. And so she's like, she's arguing with the government, saying, uh, you are taking away people's rights as a human being by taking away this medical care, which some people would argue she's ridiculous, and that's not true because it's not optional for other people. So she's basically saying that yeah, so basically there's a big disagreement. She believes this is a human right and the government doesn't. And yeah, she's just saying, what are you guys doing? Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. uh, look at your soccer. I mean, I want a soccer. Okay. Uh, Dina made the point that another pass could mean that the expansion never happens if the liability is further dead or the banner outright. He said the government would like be taken to
Court. Like, again, the big court of government. Because remember, the court has the same power as the government. So, and the court, actually, the court's job is to make sure the government doesn't do anything crazy or is following the rules. And so they're kind of the balance of power. They fight each other to make sure that no one has all the power, right? So this person is worried that if we don't do this now in March, it will never happen, or will just be delayed, and never happen. So he's like, we got to do it now.
Yeah. Conservative leader play.
Peter Poilievre.
Poilievre has the word with to swallow it if he formed the next government. Federal election must take place no later than the fall 2025.
So that guy you talked about, he doesn't like this. He's like, this is a stupid idea. This is bad. I want to get rid of it. If I become the prime minister, I will get rid of this when I'm in power, which would be 2025 fall, so September-ish or October.
They value individuals who are enduring and able suffering. They have to go court and police the government to do what the gender of rights and freedoms of it done said.
Basically, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms are the big laws of Canada that everyone has to do, and the government has to follow these rules. So this government can't take away your rights or your freedoms. These are to protect you as a person, making sure the government can't just put you in jail for no reason, blah, blah, blah. So this person's saying, if the government does do this, people will have to go to the court to fight the government to stop it. This is just saying Saskatoon couple choose to die together. This mother-in-law hosts her wake. She dies. She does her own funeral and then kills herself after the funeral, etc. Also, could this be challenged. Like, could the court stop this? I don't know, actually.
Okay. When they amended the updated assisted dying legislation, senators said the belief, including people with mental distress from the ability amended to this nation under the center. Center. Check.
Senators. So, yeah, sorry. Basically, this is just saying that, like, when they changed this rule to allow people to kill themselves in 2016, some of the courts were saying this looks discriminatory to mental illness. Remember, rights are for everyone, not for one group or this group. And so if these people have the right to kill themselves because they're in pain, these people should also have the rights. So some people argue that, but others say no, which is critics.
Chris said the code or law is the Clinton saying the government had this issue.
So this guy's just saying, critics, the other people are saying, no court actually thinks that mental illness is a like rights protected to kill themselves. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Lemons, along with a host of other law provisions, a laws of the country issued an open letter early this year saying it is requires to suggest that the constitutional right to assistant dying for such patterns would sequestered by the courts.
Basically just saying, like, the courts, there's no way the courts would be like, yeah, everyone's allowed to kill themselves. Like, why would the courts say that? That's silly. And so this person's saying that this is reckless. You're trying to kill people that shouldn't be dying. You're causing more of the problem, and the courts are not going to allow this to happen. You are crazy to think that the court will allow this to happen.
In fact, there for that reason on the country, there a strong argument to make that the gender requires adequate and equipation against Peter.
Premature.
We
Yeah,
have
sorry, we're out of time.
after
Yeah, do you want me to open